Intersex people have innate sex characteristics that don't fit medical and social norms for female or male bodies. Designed in 2013 by the organization Intersex International Australia, this flag intentionally features non-gendered colors that celebrate living outside the binary. Yellow and purple are both used because they are seen as gender-neutral colors, and the circle represents wholeness, completeness, and the intersex people's potentiality.
I'm an intersex person, educator, and advocate, and these are 10 misconceptions about the intersex experience. Number 1, it's very rare or uncommon to be intersex. This is actually not true because intersex people make up around 2% of the population, which is about the same percentage of people that have red hair, that have green eyes, or that are twins, respectively. Myth 2, all intersex people have ambiguous genitalia or genital variations. Genital variations are one way to be intersex, but one can also be intersex by variations in their hormones, chromosomes, other secondary sex characteristics, and so on. Myth 3, all intersex people know that they're intersex at birth. While some intersex children are identified as intersex at birth, a lot of intersex people don't find out until puberty, or some intersex people don't even find out until late adulthood, if at all. Myth 4, being intersex affects us all in the same exact way. With over 30 medically recognized intersex variations, it's important to note that there's no singular intersex experience. Myth 5, you can tell just by looking at us that we're intersex. We just look like people, so chances are you can't. This is part 2 in the 10 myths and misconceptions about the intersex experience. Number 6, intersex people have both sets of external genitalia. While it's true that sex characteristics and traits are more of a spectrum than an either-or categorization, it's not possible for an intersex person to have both a penis and a vagina. Number 7, being intersex is the same as being transgender. While the two are very often confused, being intersex has to do with one's biological sex characteristics, whereas being transgender has to do with one's gender identity. Number 8, it's possible to transition to or to become intersex. This is false. Being intersex is congenital, which means that in order to be intersex, you need to be born intersex, even if you don't necessarily find out at birth. Number 9, all intersex people identify as transgender or queer in some way. Within the intersex community, there are a lot more people who do identify as queer or transgender. There are also still intersex people who identify as cisgender and or straight. And number 10, intersex people need to be fixed in some way. False. Intersex people are whole, normal, and natural exactly as we are. We don't need fixing.
I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100%.
The man! I want to go to war! I want a lightsaber! War!
And this time, we're gonna get funky. Funky.
You're a tough cookie, and that's the last thing I'll say. Okay, you want the truth? I'll tell you everything.
So I saw this commented on someone else's video. Boy, do you know you're screwed when I do that. I'm gonna give you the honor to hear this from an intersex person. Let's start off with the statistic. The correct statistic you're trying but failing to refer to is 1.7%. Roughly the same amount of people with red hair. But we don't acknowledge redheads, right? They don't exist. We don't base social values on redheads. Red hair doesn't exist. They're just 1% And once again, that study concluding the 1.7% statistic is over 20 years old. Since that study has been made, not only has the criteria for what is considered intersex vastly expanded, it also doesn't take into the account that most people who are intersex aren't diagnosed. Now, when you say mutation, it is evidently clear you're trying to make it sound like it means that it's faulty or incorrect or abnormal, ignoring the fact that blue eyes are also a result of a genetic mutation. We do base policies off of the 1%, like for example, the rich. In fact, all of our policies are based around that. That's funny. What you are saying is that you're comfortable with centuries of oppressive binary gender norms and don't want to go outside your comfort bubble for other people's lives. But hey, I mean, you can always cry me a river.
You think you've seen it all? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Do not sell marijuana to my husband.
Okay.
Now skip to my loo. Jersey. Oh my God, Leah, what the fuck?
Hi, so it is very much possible. I was diagnosed with a condition called androgen insensitivity syndrome. So I have XY6 chromosomes, but which you would typically find in males, but I'm very much female because on my X6 chromosome, there is a mutation on the androgen receptor gene. So the protein that's supposed to detect the testosterone that my body was secreting did not work. So I was insensitive to the testosterone. So then my body developed into female, except I don't have ovaries and a uterus. And how I found out was I had not gotten my period, so I basically waited all my life for something that wasn't coming. I'm sorry, you have to laugh about these things. So at the age of 21, when my period was like, I had not gotten my period at the age of 21, I went to the doctor, my gynecologist, to find out exactly what's happening. And yeah, he said he doesn't see ovaries or a uterus. So then we initially thought it was Müllerian agenesis, which is a condition where someone doesn't have a fully developed reproductive system like the ovaries and uterus. But then he gave me a hormonal test and my testosterone was quite high. So then after that, he did a karyotype, which is basically just a genetic test to see which, like a full test on your chromosome count. And then we found out I have 46 XY chromosomes, which is typically a male karyotype, except I'm very much female. Yeah, and I don't know what else to say. So, but yeah, that's it. I mean, it used to make me very, like, when I found out 10 years ago, I'm 31 now. When I was 21, it felt like my whole life like was imploding. But 10 years later, I'm much better for it. I think it's pretty cool. I'm sorry, but I can't relate on periods and stuff, which I honestly don't mind. So yeah, the implications is I can't carry kids. I can't have like biological kids of my own because I don't have ovaries or uterus, which I honestly don't mind at all. So yeah, so that's the gist of, I think it's pretty cool though.